What a phenomenal journey it has been, Abhinandan. Looking at all the projects, one thing that you realize when you're looking at any Abhinandan Lodha or the House of Abhinandan Lodha project is the premium, offerings that they have. And this premiumization is something that we're seeing across the country happening right now. But I want to take you back to 2015 when you actually decided to, be on your own and talk about your entrepreneurial journey ever since 2015. How was it? How did you decide to get started on your own? What was the vision? What was the thought in an already crowded real estate market?
Pranav, firstly, thanks to everybody at Republic TV for having me here. When I started off in 2015, my idea was to first do something different from real estate. So I went on to set up my own private equity firm called Tomorrow Capital. I ran that firm from 2015 to 2021. It's now run independently by a set of professionals. It's probably one of the best returning mid-income non-real estate funds in the country. In 2021, we started our journey again on the House of Abhinandan Lodha. It happened by luck. It was the peak of COVID. I and a friend of mine happened to own a large parcel of land in a place called Dapoli, which is roughly 5.5 hours drive away from the center of Mumbai. And my friend wanted to, at that point of time, worried for COVID, he said, is there a way we can liquidate the land? And I said, I won't sell the land the way it is, but I believe there is a hunger in every Indian to own land. And if I can do this the digital way, then I can create a massive business. And we opened a 100-acre parcel for land in a place in Dapoli with the intention that if we can sell this digitally over 6 months, then it means we've hit a nerve in every Indian, which we can expand very, very fast. We sold out in 4 weeks. Wow. And that's where we started the journey. Before we started it, we were quite clear on 3 or 4 things. Inherently, there is a need on all of us to own land. And almost everybody has a story of how one piece of land has transformed the life of a relative or somebody close by. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, because of issues like title, possession, approvals, and liquidity, Indians have stopped buying land for investment and looked at buying land only close to either where they live or for consumption. We wanted to invert this, so we made this a premise of our business. We are built on the basis of transparency. I don't know whether it'd be nice for everybody to know that we are probably Asia's only non-physical real estate business.
Wow. Okay.
In the sense that no consumer of ours has ever visited our office or has ever come to our site.
Okay.
Of all the 7,000 odd pieces of land that we've sold in the last 4 years, everything has been done across the screen.
Okay.
With the underlying principle of transparency, corporate governance, and premiumization.
Wow. But I want to, there's this curiosity that I have. You said Dapoli was the first project, and then we're talking about 7,000 others. Are you personally involved in deciding which place are we coming up with a project? What is that process? How do you decide that, wow, this is the location I want to build? Are you also involved in the architecture of that? I want to understand from a businessman point of view, from an entrepreneur point of view.
The underlying theory, Pranav, is that, wherever the state and central government in India are building infrastructure projects together, and where the economic growth is a bit ahead of national average, their land boundaries are going to change faster.
Okay.
The real value in land happens when you're at the fringe of a city, and in a 3, 5, 10-year period, the city limits change, urbanization takes place, and FSI norms change. If you're at that cusp, what Sona Road was probably to this part of the country 15 years ago, or what Thane was to Mumbai 20 years ago, was that it was the outskirts of the city. And if you bought land there and held on to it for 10 or 15 years, the kind of return you've probably made is unprecedented. So we identified 48 such locations across the country, where the state and the central government are building massive infrastructure projects, ranging from Ayodhya ji to Varanasi to Shimla to Goa. And where we believe that the economic growth is going to be much ahead of the national average. And we are going to try and bring that to our consumer so they can get the benefit of India's urbanization boom.
Okay. Looking at, one thought that whenever as a family you discuss, you always wish that, I wish my father had kept that one piece of land and today I would have sold it and would have been a millionaire by now. is that when we look at it now, land looks expensive. Is it really expensive, or do you, I mean, for anyone and everyone sitting here and looking at land as an investment, do you still see that there is a potential of a return over the investment that we may do in land today?
My fundamental belief is, and this is data-driven, across real estate cycles, land over a 10-year period gives you a 20% plus compounding return.
Okay.
So you need to buy land with a 10-year horizon in mind. And whenever you buy land with a 10-year horizon in mind, you will make a substantial amount of money.
Okay. Is there some kind of risk associated with land buying? I mean, there's always been that, as you rightly mentioned, that you do not know the title. If you buy a plot somewhere away from the city, your parents are telling you, okay, guard it well, otherwise somebody else might just encroach. As a realtor, do you think these are challenges and these are some things that you or the industry as such has been able to overcome?
So Pranav, that's the fundamental basis of our business. We are basically protecting our consumer from title, possession, approval, liquidity risk.
Okay.
So we sort of as a brand underwrite all four of these along with the best-in-class consultants. So we'll have a law firm like DSK certifying your title. You have the best architectural firms certifying the approvals, etc. So
Okay.
I think these four are large reasons why Indians did not buy land for investment till 4 years ago.
Okay.
But I think now with the house of Abhinandan Lodha and many more similar parallel real estate firms looking in the same thought line, land is going to become the investment class for real estate.
Okay.
Vertical real estate will be bought more and more for consumption.
Okay.
Land will be bought more and more for investment.
Okay. What kind of thought process do you go through when you decide to buy or develop land in a place like Ayodhya, which is not probably on the rest of India's real estate map?
So I think the concept of buying land in Ayodhya ji started in 2021-22, and with the understanding that it's a culmination of a long saga, a long journey for Indians, and the emotional attachment to Ayodhya ji will also ensure a lot of economic development around it. And the first mover there will probably get the largest economic benefit.
Right.
The most difficult part in that journey was actually to be able to buy the land.
Okay. How did you go about that
So
process?
we bought the land from roughly 1,700 farmers over a 4-year period.
Okay.
And bought it less than 1/4 of an acre at a time.
Okay.
And we took the risk of aggregating the land together. We put together a 75-acre parcel of land. We launched in 2024, and I think we've seen phenomenal response whenever we've launched. We're also building India's first vegetarian 7-star hotel in our development.
Okay.
And the general idea is anybody now looking at Ayodhya ji understand that this is the start of the economic journey there.
Okay.
Roughly 80,000 crore rupees worth of projects have been announced in and around Ayodhya ji by the state and central government.
Okay.
More than 60% is already under development.
Okay.
And when that kind of economic boom comes to a place, the entire underlying geography and economic growth changes.
Okay. Amitabh Bachchan, if I'm not wrong, was the brand ambassador for Ayodhya, and I was just talking to somebody, and he said he himself did not get a land piece in the house of Abhinandan Lodha project. Was that really the case? What happened?
No, so firstly, Amitabh Bachchan ji is not the brand ambassador for this. It's a bit of a funny story. So this is back in December 2023. I was in Australia for a small break with my family. And I got a couple of missed calls on my phone from a number which I didn't have. And I didn't pick it up because you don't pick up calls in the middle of the night. It was 2-3 a.m. in the night. And then I got a message on my phone. And the message said, Abhinandan ji, this is Amitabh Bachchan here. Please call back when convenient.
Okay.
So, Amitabh Bachchan is,
Yeah.
the god for Indian people of my age. So you effectively stand up on the bed and call. And, I called back and he said, Abhinandan ji, मुझे जनवरी में अयोध्या जी जाना है और उसके पहले मेरे को वहाँ का निवासी बनना है. So I want to buy a piece of land for my family there.
Okay.
And your people are saying it's not open for sale.
Okay.
So I said, साहब आपने बोल दिया, it's more than enough and will be done. So he said, नहीं आप पहले मुझे दाम बताइए. I said, साहब दाम मैं आपको क्या बताऊँ, आप अमिताभ बच्चन हो. He said, नहीं आप मुझे दाम बताइए.
Okay.
I said, the cost is 10,000 rupees a square foot, but sir आपको कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं. He just kept down the phone. And shows the greatness of the man. Next day morning before I got up, he transferred the amount of money which was required to buy a piece of land without looking at the land, without looking at the location, and with a simple request letter from his side that please ensure I get my registration done before 22nd of January. And when that happened, he called me and he told me, Abhinandan, I've liked this process so much that you've been able to convince Amitabh Bachchan sitting in Juhu, who was born and brought up in Allahabad, to buy a land in Ayodhya ji without ever seeing anything physically. I think it's a great story. I think every Indian should look at it. And I will be the one who will go out there and talk about this for you. So he's not been a brand ambassador. He's been an actual consumer.
Okay.
He's paid the money. He's bought the land. And then he's liked it so much that he's gone and spoken about it to the entire world.
Wow. But then is premium real estate only for the likes of Amitabh Bachchan, or is it affordable even to a common middle class?
So I think our plots start from 20 lakhs and go up to 5 crores. It's at every price range.
Okay.
Our idea is effectively, you know, I grew up in a generation which also saw the bull trading ring and which saw demat trading. And my idea is, if I want to really get the Indian consumer to believe in intergenerational transfer of wealth through land, then every part of the value chain should be made available. So we have plots from 20 lakhs to 5 crores. And my idea is people should start investing very early in land at whatever age group and whatever income strata that they are at.
Okay. You mentioned DMAT, so I have to come back to the equity part of it. Now, one of the challenges that banks have been facing over the past few years is that because the entire middle class is diverting their savings towards SIPs, wealth is kind of shifting towards equity markets. Do you also face that challenge, that there's not enough investment coming your way because equities are posing a bigger challenge?
No problem. I think inherently there is a mental classification in the minds of most Indians that real estate allocation is quite heavy. If I remember reading a recent Wealth report, I was told that 65 to 70% of the net worth of an average Indian is in his real estate assets.
Okay.
So it's already a very heavy allocation. What we believe we are being able to do is look at, convince the Indian that if you want to buy real estate for consumption, please buy apartments. But when you're buying real estate for investment, when you're buying real estate for intergenerational wealth, then land is the only option.
Okay.
And when we started in 2021, the entire transactions in land as a percentage of the real estate pie were less than 3%.
Okay.
That's probably moved to 4.5% now, and it will get to 15 to 18% over the next 5 years in a real estate market which is already growing quite fast. So the allocation to land is happening from the investment bucket of real estate, which is inherent to Indians.
Okay. You once mentioned that you are looking at, the house of Abhinandan Lodha is looking at an approximately 10,000 crore worth of business till 2030. What makes you so bullish on India, Indian consumer, Indian investor?
So I think I've been a beneficiary of the support of the Indian retail investor throughout my life. And I think the Indian real estate buyer is probably the best real estate buyer in the world. If you are transparent and honest with him, he funds your entire construction cycle and allows you to have very, very large dreams as a developer.
Okay.
Anywhere else in the world, in the UK or anywhere else, you need to achieve entire financial closure of an asset from either equity or debt before you take on construction.
Okay.
In India, it's quite accepted that the buyer will pay a percentage of that to be able to bring things to a completion. So the understanding and the trusting nature of the Indian consumer, coupled with the inherent Indian need for land, and what we believe is a unique proposition that we are forcing transparency and corporate governance as the fulcrum of our business, which allows the young Indian to participate with us in a big way.
Okay.
That allows us to believe that wherever we bring land to bear, we will be able to get very, very large demand.
Right. Abhinandan, talking about young Indian, talking about aspirations, one of the important aspects of real estate is, one is emotional obviously, but the second one is the investment part. Now, talking about the investment bit of it, what kind of, globally, if you have to really look at it, what will you convince an Indian buyer here? 5 of your suggestions to, get better benefits or investment benefits out of real estate.
So firstly, my suggestion is that you should always go to the expert. So buy from a good brand.
Okay.
Don't try to save at the margin by buying something 10% cheaper. Because when you buy from a brand, it may be more expensive to start with, but the returns are far more in the long run.
Okay.
So I think that's one. Second, be very, very clear of long-term allocation and short-term allocation of money.
Okay.
Should not use leverage to buy what you believe are long-term assets for intergenerational wealth.
Okay.
It then forces liquidation at times which are not required. Thirdly, be very, very clear of the reason for buying. Is it consumption? Is it investment? If you're buying for investment, have a return expectation. If you're buying for consumption, don't have large return expectations.
Okay.
And fourthly, be willing to participate in new age ideas, because that's where transformational money is going to get made.
Okay. Do you have global plans?
At this point of time, no.
Okay.
But we didn't have pan-India plans 4 years ago when we started as well.
Okay.
So, if the consumer supports, we'll think bigger.
Who are the global real estate moguls, so to say, that you look up to?
I think EMAR is one brand to really look up to and learn from. They managed to create a real estate boom again and again and again in their home country.
Okay.
And they brought significant differentiation on architecture. And they've been now able to attract a global population to come and participate with them.
Okay.
So I think one real estate brand globally which I really look up to is EMAR.
Very distinct architecture is something that I've seen in your projects. Are you personally involved in those designs?
Yeah, I am, but more than me, I think we've got a very good in-house team, and we work with the best-in-class designers from across the world.
Okay.
Our idea is just because you're buying land doesn't mean that you should be getting anything less than the most premium development in the place, and then you need to bring that kind of organization to bear.
Okay. Where do you see yourself 5 years down the lane? I mean, you once said that you want to be working till your last day. Now, we are living in an era where we are talking about FIRE, that is financial independence, retire early. Everybody just wants to retire, earn that corpus and retire. As an entrepreneur, I have one question. Do you ever think of retirement? And second, is it right probably to attach a particular figure with retirement?
My personal journey may be different from others. So, I can't say whether attaching a figure to retirement is wrong or right. I think I've been very, very lucky to be able to do something which I feel so passionately about and get to do it on such a large and massive scale. In a country where your prime minister is 75 years old and works 18 hours a day, I think all of us should take inspiration from him and look at how much more we can work rather than how early we can retire.
So where do you see yourself with the India story all poised to, take over? We're already the fourth largest economy, third largest economy, will very soon be. Where do you see the house of Abhinandan Lodha going from here?
So I think by 2030, we plan to be in at least 36 of our identified 48 locations.
Okay.
Our land business will look to cross 10,000 crores of sales by 2030.
Okay.
We've also recently announced our foray into vertical real estate development in Mumbai. And we believe that will also become a substantial growth engine for us.
Okay.
But all in all, I think we'll probably be able to say 5 years from now, look at having delivered 30, 32, 35 of our developments ahead of schedule.
Okay.
And have close to 35 to 40,000 satisfied consumers.
Okay.
And look to grow from there.
Wonderful. Abhinandan, thank you very much. It has been lovely talking to you. We are hoping that we'll follow your journey all throughout and have you more number of times here as you progress further.
Thank you so much, Ram. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Lodha. Thank you, Pranav. Request both of you to please be on stage and we have the memento to be presented. Pranav, can you please present the memento? Thank you. Can we have a huge round of applause again?